Welcome back. Episode 4. Yeah, I said that with Black Caesar. Still no theme music, no nothing. This is it right here. You know, we just got done with the Mike, the Michael Jackson tribute. Always look, every year around this time we do something for Michael Jackson. You got to. You know what I'm saying? It's Michael Jackson. Ain't nothing crazier than Michael Jackson. Ain't nothing bigger than Michael Jackson. And I get it. There's a whole generation in the cut going, Chris Brown, that dude. Chris Brown better than Michael. Chris Brown is better than Michael Jackson. No. Chris Brown is like the newest version of Michael Jackson. Chris Brown is this generation's Michael Jackson. Let me tell you something like this. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, this generation of people, I think like 30 something and under, their whole thing is we just want to be better than. You know what I'm saying? James Brown is on the Arsenio Hall show. MC Hammer is like the hottest thing all of a sudden. He's the new thing. He's that new thing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't really new. For the pop culture, he's new. You know what I'm saying? Can't Touch This is the biggest joint going. That album is multi-platinum. So and he's Arsenio's guy. Not to mention the fact that he's dancing everywhere. So his dance moves are undeniable, right? They go past Bobby Brown. They go past whoever else is a dope dancer, and they go straight to Mike. They ask James Brown, who's better, and James don't even reply. James Brown understands that. He doesn't reply. You go to Michael Jackson at the height of his career. We're talking that Thriller, and he working on Bad. And you go, Mike, are you better than James Brown? Mike is gonna tell you no. Mike Tyson knocking dudes out everywhere you look. They had him on Oprah, or was it on Arsenio? They had him on one of them joints, whether it was Oprah or Arsenio. I can't remember for real. They had him on this joint. Him, Muhammad Ali, rest in peace, and Sugar Ray Leonard, and they were like, "Yo, who's the greatest?" Sugar Ray and Mike both pointed at Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? Muhammad Ali, I forgot what Muhammad Ali, I think he pointed at both of them. You know what I'm saying? When they asked Mike Tyson, and again, in his prime, you and Muhammad Ali. And he's like, yo, it's not even don't ask me. They even went as far as to go, yo, what you think you do against a George Foreman? I ain't messing with George Foreman. Mike, the baddest man on the planet, deferred. And don't get it twisted, so does Chris Brown. When you go, Chris Brown, you better than Mike, Chris Brown's gonna go, no. You know what I'm saying? Nah. The problem is there's just like and the logic that I think they don't get is the person you're comparing them to be better than, you're still talking about that person. So obviously there's no competition. Because you're not comparing them to somebody who was out 10 years ago, maybe 20 some years ago. You're comparing him to a legend. A legend who's been dead for almost 20 years. You're comparing him to a legend who's been in the game since 1960, what, 9? That's who you're comparing this dude to. So while you're going, I think he better than Mike, realize you've already given Mike way more credit than you think you were giving him. You know what I'm saying? Mike, look, and don't get it twisted. I don't understand. I understand Chris Brown did with the 36-hour joint nonstop. You had the people were falling asleep, waking up, and he was still just performing. I'm like, dude, what drugs are you on? I get that. He ain't still got nothing. Like Michael Jackson's stage performance is the stuff that Madonna, Pink, Beyonce, that they're still trying to catch up with. I ain't saying Taylor Swift. Duh. But I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? They still trying to catch up with this. And y'all like, Mike, you know what I'm saying? Mike ain't all that. Mike is, and that's why we had to pay tribute to him. We gotta, and it's never like, the people who talk that joint about Mike, they only know Thriller and Remember the Time. They know the Thriller album and Remember the Time. Thriller alone, the fact that every Halloween, that is the get down. You can't have a summer without Will Smith's Summertime, and you can't have Halloween without Thriller. You can't have Christmas without Nat King Cole's joint. There's just and Mariah Carey. There's just joints. There's joints and Donny Hathaway. Okay, I'm done with all that. Temptations. Boy, Christmas will have you out here tripping. Anyway, point is, everybody does the dance joint. They lock the streets down. They lock a school down. They get it popping. It's what it is. Let's not act like that's not a thing. That's what they do. They boom, doom, 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 doom. Hey, the joint jump off. The joint jump off all the time. All the time. And now y'all are out here talking about Chris Brown ain't got that. Y'all talking that talk, but at the end of the day, Chris Brown don't have that. Chris Brown ain't got that. Not in his bag. And I think I swear I said this before. So I don't want to find myself retreading over joints. But it kills me when I hear people say that. You know what I mean? But yeah, we rocked some Mike. 2 hours. We rocked 2 hours of Mike. And it was good. It was good. Good. It was great. Anyway, this is what we doing, right? I know we only touched on it maybe a little bit on the first episode. The questions and answers. Here's a question from a chick named Shamika, who knows me. I know you. You know me. We know each other. I only try to be formal. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, get out of here with that. But anyway, don't ask me what's the difference between this and the Our World, Our Time, outside of not being about history. And I try not to get too serious on this. And there's supposed to be music. There's supposed to be a lot more going on, but you can't do all that because, everybody gonna cut that stuff out. So it's still what it is. That's technically it. You know what I'm saying? This is after the show. I encourage people to listen to the show so we could talk about the music. You know what I'm saying? And we answer questions and we do all this and all that. So yeah, Shamika, who tuned in to the first 2 joints and then was like, you know what I'm saying? What's the difference? That's the difference. Shamika. Yeah. Uh-huh. What's the difference? Shamika. I'm gonna say it one more time just because I don't think she heard me out here. Out here gonna ask some questions like what's the difference? Anyway, Valerie, I'm assuming this is a redhead. I personally have never met a Valerie that's not a redhead. I mean, I'm not saying there's none that's not out there. I'm just saying I ain't talking about on TV. I'm talking about personally 1212 redhead. Even a light skinned bride who had red hair. Her name was Valerie. Valerie, that's the thing right there. Every Jessica I ever met looked like a Cabbage Patch Kid. Every Valerie I ever met was a redhead in some sense of the form. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Valerie wanted to know, how do I feel about what's going on in DC with all the cops and all this and all that. I saw a post a dude did. Don't know how old this brother is, but this brother said his whole life they've been trying to move black people out of DC. They've been trying to figure out how to gentrify DC. And I'm not gonna lie with him. I cannot object to that at all. Because he's right. At least during my lifetime, that's kind of always been the vibe. They've been trying to figure out how to move these black people out of DC. The thing about it is, you have the college, you got Howard, you have Go-Go, you have just the theory that DC is Chocolate City. People go out there, love it, go back where they come from, tell you about DC, and then be like, yo, I'm about to move out there. You know what I'm saying? DC is so its own thing. So I get that. You know what I'm saying? That's always been a thing to try to figure out how to get these blacks out of DC. Here's a crazy joint, right? So I'm by this dude. I know this dude. I'm not saying no names. I'm not going. I don't do no names. So I'm on my phone. I'm on IG. I'm on the gram. I'm on my phone. This dude is out here spitting conspiracy theories. Now he's spitting conspiracy theories to like these two people. I think a chick and a dude. I think the chick got up at some point, came back. They're still, you know what I'm saying? And he's going in and he's looking at me. And I'm like, yeah, okay. At one point, he goes, yo, they got the cure for cancer. All cancers. Any cancer that's out there, they got the cure for it. The government got the cure for it. For a hot minute, I have to look over. He about to say something stupid. Go back to the phone. Go back to the phone. I'm on my joint. I'm just liking and liking and liking. I'm whatever. Right? He goes, yo, the cancer can be cured by something that's inside roaches. You got to get the roaches, let them grow to be big roaches, not cockroaches, regular house roaches, and then you got to something up under their wings. I look over. He looking at me like, yeah, yeah. I look back at my phone. There's the chick. She is dumbfounded. She is 100% invested. The dude, he's a little freaked out. You know what I'm saying? My man is still, and the wild part is, as fast as he said that, and I look at him, and I look back at my phone, it starts clicking in my head. If that's the case, everybody that lives in the hood got the cure. I'm like, roaches, yeah, the hood got the cure. Then as fast as I'm thinking this, he go, that's why they trying to move the black people out of D.C. That's why the cops in them there, they trying to move the people out of D.C. I bet you they took all the raid and the hot shot and all that stuff out of the stores, son. Yeah, they trying to keep the roaches. And you know why they doing it in D.C. first? Because that's where all the politicians are at. That's where the Pentagon is at. So if anybody got cancer out there, they gonna get the cure first. I look up. I stare at this dude. And that is plausible, right? maybe, maybe, maybe these do. He might be on to something. You know what I'm saying? I could easily stop doing what I'm doing and Google this, but I'm not, because I'm too invested in what I'm doing. And what I'm doing while he's having this conversation is I'm on the gram looking at attractive, sexy, disabled women. I'm yeah. You missing an appendage. I'm there. And you know what I'm saying. Ain't nothing sexier than a big breast, no arm broad. You know what I'm saying, with a fatty. She turn around and just moving her shoulder parts, and then it's like then she'll do a little shoulder shimmy and the booty jiggle. I'm on that. Like, who is this? I'm there. You know what I'm saying? Shorty in a chair, looking good, acting like she gonna stand up, wishing she could, but she can't. I'm on that. Looking all sexy and cute. You know what I'm saying? Brides with the cerebral palsy, and they walking with they walker and they booty jiggling. She got a fatty. She trying to turn around and look good. I'm on that. I'm on that. There's a dark skinned shorty. There's a shorty. No, she ain't even dark skin, brown skin, beautiful brown skin, no legs. All her videos start off the same way. She spins, and then she starts talking, and I'm just like, boy, mm 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 mm. Shorties with baby arms, shorty with baby fingers, chicks with one regular leg, and then they got like a miniature joint with like some I guess like toes sticking out. Then they turn around. A lot of these women are foreign, by the way. It's weird. I don't know if it's like it makes you not want to go to foreign countries and drink water, because I'm pretty sure there's something in the water. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? They be out here boom, boom, and then you're like, boy, that's okay. Okay, that's what I was doing. I'm up here doing that. I'm not. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna even Google that, because these women are looking too attractive right now. Then I went from like disabled, beautiful disabled women to midgets, My bad. Little women with normal people heads, just looking good and just walking around, and they all got the same kind of voice. And what I like to do is, and you're just like, look at you, look, and they know they sexy because they be wearing bathing suits and be like blue and blue and jumping in the sink and drowning. And you be like, what? Oh my God! Look, she done turned the sink into the pool. Look at somebody get her out the sink. You know what I mean? It's just, you know what I mean? I'm too busy doing that to worry about him with this crazy but logical to a degree theory. They want to move the blacks out because the hood got roaches and they need all the roaches they can get to cure cancer. And I'm just like, makes so much sense. Yes, that makes sense. But the other side of it is, this is to set off something. Because y'all remember a few years ago, that was the joint, Baltimore, D.C. area, that it really got popping back then, right? A few years ago, because during the Black Lives Matter movement, that was one of the get down spots. You know what I'm saying? So let's not get it twisted. And then when you see people having their videos of the guards and all these people coming through, yeah, they're purposely messing with people. They're purposely running up on people to do this purposely. Like that's their whole thing. They're really trying to get something to jump off, and salute to the people who won't fall for it. Right? But yeah, Valerie, that's how I feel that it's another ploy. It's another distraction. You know what I'm saying? You go, well, what's it distracting me from? What happened to the Italian looking dude that all the girls were swooning over who shot the healthcare person? The health insurance guy. What happened to him? Nobody knows. What happened to the person that went into the building and went on the right floor that they meant to go to and shot somebody who was in the health insurance business? We don't talk about that no more either. Since all of this stuff has been jumping off, you know what else? The Epstein files. We ain't even talking about that. So yeah, Valerie, there's a lot of other things going on. Yeah, Valerie, there's some things going on. I don't know where you stand on that, Valerie. I don't know if you, because you're listening, you were like, well, I wonder how he feels about that. That's how I feel about that. It's a distraction, and luckily, black men and women are not feeding into the BS, and they're just falling back, and they're like, man, I ain't gonna let y'all round me up like that. Whatever. Do what you must, but y'all know this is illegal and y'all can't do too much to me because I'm chilling. Whatever, man. Whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what and maybe because it doesn't pop up on my feed, they're not stopping go-go. So it's like there's a point where they're like, oh, we know when to fall back. Because remember when the newbies got out there trying to gentrify DC a couple of years ago? Oh my God, they playing that DC. They playing. Can y'all stop the music? And they went hard over the weekend on them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's in that realm. There's a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? There's the point that they want so desperately to come in and take over, but they can't get rid of people. And when you can't get rid of people, for some reason, the concept of compromise and living amongst each other is just too irrational for some people. But yes, Valerie, that is how I feel about DC and all that. Hold on. I gotta look this one up. This one came to me through Messenger. This I hate these people, man. These people with these fakey names, like the account. They said the account don't even exist anymore. Weird, but all right. Anyway, and the question is, now that we're actually getting rid of critical race theory, where do you see your quote unquote, because got the quotes, quote unquote, black history now? Huh. Let me think. Where do I see black history now that people won't teach it in school. Which, by the way, they really never really taught it in school. Apparently, from what I gather, if you had teachers who cared about American history, they taught it. I think I said this a few weeks ago. Um, Growing up, I know where I grew up, Black history progressively became a bigger issue as you were growing, as you were getting going on in your grades. Matter of fact, American history, when you learned about slaves, that was kind of it. Americans had slaves. You learned that in like first or second grade. There were slaves in America. It was part of American history. American history cannot be told without slavery. There's no way you can do that because there's so much that Americans' history involves doing something to black people. So you can't have American history without that. So you second grade, third grade, first grade, second grade, you learn that. Third grade, you learn blacks were trying to escape. You learn about the abolitionists. You learn about what happened with the Civil War. Fourth grade, you now start to tap on the door of a Nat Turner and a couple of protests and what happened in Jamaica in fifth grade. You know what I'm saying? Sixth grade, you learn about all kind of stuff in sixth grade. You learn about the Middle Passage in sixth grade and seventh grade. Eighth grade, ninth grade, you learn it, the atrocities. You start to learn more about Willie Lynch. You start to learn more about the Black Code in Virginia. You start to learn more about XYZ. It gets your American history becomes more detailed in general. You know what I'm saying? So to act as if we're going to not I don't know how you tell American history without talking about black people. You know what I'm saying? You're going, well, slavery was a choice. Now you just so what was Harriet Tubman doing? You know what I'm saying? Now you have to what was Nat Turner protest? What was the Nat Turner upheaval about if slavery was really a choice? You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. Like it's not so much the critical race theory or the we're trying to somehow go back to justifying slavery because that's really what it is. When I was a kid, it was just, hey, why did they do that? Your teacher would tell you, fifth grade, fifth grade, Miss Kelly kept it all the way real, and yet she still kept it in the confines of what we were already hearing before her, which is it was the law. You know what I'm saying? Slavery was a law. That's why we got into the whole thing about Civil War and boom, boom, boom. And even then, when it was supposed to be this whole thing, slavery is abolished, everything gets into this new direction, they still figured out ways legally, my fifth grade teacher telling me, legally to keep black people in a area of servitude. They still had them out here serving. Even crop sharing. You weren't gonna get much, but you weren't a slave. And you seemed to be doing most of the work because you knew how to do the work. This is what you're learning in fifth grade. But it was legal. That was you always heard that. It was legal. Nobody said it was right. They said it was legal. Somehow, in the last since COVID, in the Black Lives Matter movement, to even explain it that way is wrong. These little white kids is like, oh my God, I guess white people were so bad. No white parent is pulling their white kid to the side and going, no. It was the law. You know what I'm saying? It was a law. You could do that. You could have slaves. You didn't have to have slaves, but if you wanted to, legally you could. Because there were people who didn't have slaves. But if you wanted to have slaves, because it was the law, you could. Easy example, you're going about your business, and because now your kid is thinking, well, there's some white people who didn't want to have slaves, and guess what they'll learn in school? There were white people who were against slavery. There were white people in the South who helped the Underground Railroad. The problem is, white people were so upset that their white kids were like, oh my God, I can't believe we used to have slaves, that they didn't take the time to let their kids continue learning and finding out the whole story. They got panicky and was like, oh my God, I don't want my kid to think that we're bad people. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's where all of this really stems from. So it's like, yo, let the whole thing play out. Let the whole, yeah, there gonna be some mad black people, some mad black students. We all was kids. We were kids. Looked at our little white friends and was like, huh. You know what I'm saying? And then every once in a while you get that one white kid in your class that'll make some joke. Man, I wish I owned you. You know what? Our family could have owned your family, and you're just like, why would you say that? Then you probably got to fight them. Then everybody's in the office, and but they didn't go. Let's stop teaching about slavery because that stupid stuff happened. They just went, that's dumb. That's idiotic. Don't say nothing like that again. You shouldn't get offended like that. Neither one of y'all are slaves or slave owners. That's long gone. Let's keep it pushing. Real adults back in the day did real adult things when children had questions or wanted to reenact stupidity. We lost that somewhere. I don't know how we lost that, but we lost that. Now we're just like, So yeah, that's how I feel about this whole thing. You can't speak on American history without speaking on slavery. You can try, but somewhere along the line, you still got to come up with the reason for 4 years of civil war. You know what I'm saying? And you could decorate it all you want to decorate it if you like. It still boils down to it ended with slavery being abolished. You know what I'm saying? You still gotta talk about that. You still gotta explain Jim Crow. I know we're not gonna act like we don't know what Jim Crow is. That means you're gonna have to get rid of years of paintings, signs, old films, old documentaries, old newspapers. You got to get rid of to erase the theory of slavery in school is cool, but the real world is still going to talk about it. There's still documentaries on Tubi talking about this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's still stuff out there. Ken Burns got a whole joint somewhere. You know what I mean? 2 or 3 of them probably. And then there's a gang of baseball. You know what I'm saying? So let's not act like we're in this place where all your kids are going to do is learn about this in school. The world is still reeling and understanding and knowing there are still adults who live through segregation, white or black. You can't don't listen to great grandma. She don't know what she's talking about. She crazy. Those weren't real. Those times weren't real. That ain't real. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that woman is still alive from Tulsa. You have and what was they saying? It's still just as bad as it was back then. And somebody's always like, really? Because they burnt down. It's like, really? Because they're shooting in churches. Little dude watched Fox News, got his joint together, and shot up a church. Might not have been a whole town being destroyed, but there's one young man who goes into a black church and lets off like he's Rambo. We're still in a weird place where black people aren't safe. That kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And I get that. That was years ago, and you go, well, what's happening lately? You have no idea what's been happening. Like, it's a lot of stuff that has been happening lately. We always know about stuff that's been happening lately. I just pulled out the most wildest joint because that was a wild joint, and it had nothing to do with police. Because it's easy to talk that police stuff. I'm talking about that was just like, yo, my man, what? That. And then was like, they would drop them while taking them to the joint, be like, yo, son, you hungry? Yeah. Drop them, hit them off with some Burger King. What? But anyway, yeah, that's how I feel about that. It's you can't avoid it unless you want to not bring it up. But it's always here. It will always be here because it's part of the culture of Americans. So yeah, there you go. I don't know. Like I said, the whole joint was deleted. By the time I saw the message, it was like deleted. So it was yeah, whoever that is, and I hope that person is listening. You know what I mean? And yeah, yeah. Anyway, what's another joint? Do we got another? We'll do another one. Um, this Marcus. Marcus, this is I don't know what this brother is on, but this is the craziest craziest joint. Like his little picture joint is wild, son. My man is swole up. At first I thought this was like an animated thing or it was like AI, but you know what I'm saying? Curiosity had me like, yo, let me check this brother out. This brother is swole. Like he's been working out since he was 5. Like he got the kind of muscles that they draw on people. Like, dude, where what are you doing? Mr. Olympia, like but he's just a regular dude because it looked like he's in the projects. So it's like, yo, my man looks like he's from around the way. He's leaning on a piece of trash car. He's around the way. Like I see houses with windows boarded up. Yeah, yeah. This dude just big for nothing. He's just bullying people in the projects most likely. Just yo, son, you can't come past here. Like, hey, you ain't gonna even attempt to fight that unless you got your joint on you. Like word, pull out, cause ain't no hand to hand in with this dude. I'm not gonna. We ain't even gonna attempt to try to find out if this man can fight or not. When you swole like that, you picking me up is gonna be a dangerous job, son. You picking somebody up, you putting them hands around somebody's neck is a oof, oof, oof. He the kind of swole where I think the most I love black men in this of white women will be like, that's a little too much for me right there. I don't know. I'm good. You got a brother. I'm not gonna mess with you, black man. I'm gonna walk past this black man and go over there to those black dudes. Yeah, that he looks like that kind of dude. He looks like he might not have a shorty. Because he looks intimidating. He like the pictures, and he ain't smiling in none of these pictures. So he's just like gritting in a picture. Like all his pictures, and he just swole for like Gray Hulk outside of Vegas, swole for no reason type. He really like I don't look Marcus. Don't want no problem with you, Marcus. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Marcus who said he's been checking me out. He heard the first 2 episodes. He ain't got to the 3rd yet. So salute to you, Marcus. Thanks for hitting me up, Marcus. I'm trying to make sure that you know if you come across this 4th episode, we good, bro. We good, and just know that I've read your comment and I'm shouting you out, Marcus. I don't want you out here bringing the ruckus to me, man. I don't even know where this brother's at. I'm not trying to find out where this brother's at. This brother is too swole to be. You know the dude, like okay. There's the dude. What's the big dude? He be eating and dancing and all that. Yeah, swoller than that dude. Swoller than that dude. Yeah, swoller, swole for no reason. Just this dude is buff for like his fingers got biceps. This is a drawing of a dude. Mr. Olympia in the hood. Anyway, my man's comment is less of a question and more of a comment. I like how you doing your thing. Can you speak on music more? I don't know. And if you're wondering why I paused like that, it's because I was swallowing while I was drinking my stuff at the same. So I'm like, my bad. So I don't want y'all thinking I can't read. Yeah, we will do more music stuff. Last episode we did some music stuff, but you gotta cut it. That's the thing, you gotta cut it. We gotta when I get the website popping, we'll put the full episode with the music stuff attached to it. But yes, you know what I'm saying? Even on like I was gonna do it with this Michael Jackson thing, but then I'm like, nah, son, I'm not gonna do it like that. But yeah, we definitely will talk more about music. Um and hopefully Marcus, you checking me out on Legal Crime Radio on Wednesday nights, especially Wednesday nights when we go take it, do our flashbacks. I don't know how old you are, Marcus, but we take it back to the classics and all that back in the day. Anything 10 years and further back. That's how I get down. You can check me out on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Legal Crime Radio. Selfish plug, of course, but whatever, right? Um, yeah, man. But like talking about music is so crazy because you realize a lot of people don't listen to music. Like people like music. People don't love music. People don't listen to music, and not only that, um, nowadays people don't have that ear to like everything. Like like music because of Spotify and radio is so distant and there's no more MTV, there's no more BET just playing videos. So you don't. And even then when they kind of stayed in a space. There was a spot. They didn't rotate outside of this spot. Like I stopped like the day I realized BET sucked at their award shows was the day I realized they never said any like they actually had a gospel award show just for gospel music. But there still wasn't anything for jazz, blues, zydeco. There still wasn't anything for funk. There still wasn't anything for what I'm saying? Like even with the hip hop, that like if you're not this, there's nothing for somebody. There's nothing for a brother Ali. There's nothing for a Skyzoo. There's nothing for a Torre. There's nothing for a Blue. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing for a lot of dudes. There's Rashid Chappelle. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of dudes doing it that make great music. Master Ace constantly drops dope music. There's like no acknowledgement of those type of things. So when I hear people talk that music, you know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody is in a Chris Brown moment. You know what I'm saying? Like who the fuck is Robert Glasper? That's really the whole vibe. Like that's how people feel about music. Like Robert Glasper has been cracking for about oof, a minute now. People still don't know. Lettucey been cracking for about 20 years now. People still don't know. You know what I'm saying? BJ the Chicago Kid, unless he's on a hook, ain't nobody out here listening to his actual music. That's what I'm saying. Like there's a lot of artists that don't get recognition. You know what I'm saying? Which is why, like, when I do my stuff on my show, I try to play a lot of stuff. Because, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to play the popular joints or the dudes that you've heard about or the dudes that show up on Spotify first. Like, when you go to Spotify, they faces is the first faces you see. Yeah, it's easy to play all that. You know what I'm saying? One time a few years ago, what is 2025 now? So I think about 2022. Don't know how it happened. Um, don't know what happened. I think our subscription time, because what happened with as I'm trying to tell the story, I'm still trying to think about how to say this. Sirius had hit us off with a 90-day trial period for what it felt like. Oh my God, it felt like a year and a half, and then they finally stopped. And that time that they stopped for about like a week or two, it was like, and that was the whole thing. It was like, do we really want to pay that? And you know what I'm saying? Like, if it go, it go. We'll be good. So then for about 2 weeks, we listened to the regular radio. And you realize the regular radio sucks. Radios, and maybe it's different if you're in New York. Maybe it's different when you're in LA. But when you're not in New York and you're not in LA, radio sucks. Radio really sucks. And you're like, yo, this is crazy, son. How are they playing the same songs all the time? The oldie stations playing the same songs. The quote unquote top 40 stations, they're playing the same songs. The good home of hip hop and R&B station, they're playing the same songs from the same artist, and it's not good. It's just like, dude, this is not quality music. Get the serious back. We need the serious back. You know what I'm saying? You get the serious back and you get to hear different stuff. You get to hear, and don't get it twisted. Yeah, our favorites on our joint is for some reason Turbo's that the rock joint, the Beatles, Smokey's joint. Smokey's on 74 now, I think, right? Smokey's took over the, like, it used to be a old hole joint for the then Smokey, they were like, yeah, Smokey done took that over. Smokey's over here now. And they switched it right after Christmas. Like when Christmas hit, a lot of stuff just switched around. So Smokey got his joint. There's, I don't know why we do, but I don't know why we do Hip Hop Nation, but we do. Shade 4-5, Rock the Bells, The Fly Joint, and Flow, Heart and Soul, and then I think there's a country, Kelly Clarkson joint also. Yeah. I think in who is it? It's somebody else's joint too, because they play a lot of Dave Matthews and all that kind of stuff. I can't remember who that is, but yeah. So we follow them type of joints, and it's dope. And it's weird because you realize. Here's the thing I'm realizing, like, because I've been saying it for so long, and people don't get what I'm saying. But if you have Sirius, listen to Fly, who now expands their stuff to the 2000s. So it's like the 90s to the 2000s. So that's from 2000 to 2010. Then there's, no, Fly. Yeah, Fly is that. Flow is the 2010s to now, right? That weirdness of 08, 09, 2010, and then you listen to all the stuff on Flow, all of that stuff sounds similar. Then you go to like Hip Hop Nation, their rap joints sound similar. Like music has not changed. The Groove is another one that we listen to, The Groove. Now, you take Rock the Bells, and you can hear distinct eras. That was the 80s. This is the 90s. This is a certain part of the 90s. This was a crazy part of the 90s. This is the 2000s. This is the early 2000s. This is when crunk was getting hot. This is when trap took over. You can hear that off of Rock the Bells. You know what I'm saying? You can hear when. Here's something I found interesting. I forgot how I heard about it. I don't know where I heard it at, but somebody was saying disco was only around for 3 years. Disco has an impact that is so powerful, but it was only around for 3 years. And do you know what killed disco? Other than the fact that a lot of rock fans were like, and a lot of black fans were like, and that's where you got punk rock and hard rock and hip hop from, because they were like, we are so anti that right now, you know what I'm saying? But what a lot of that had to do was because it got oversaturated. You had anybody making a disco record. Hip hop was close to that. When you had the dude doing the fake Ronald Reagan joint, and when you had the Flintstones, people don't look. If you're not old enough to remember, there was a point where the Flintstones were dressed like Run DMC. This is how fast hip hop moves. As this commercial was on. By the time this commercial came on, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, KRS-One, Kool G Rap, Chuck D, Ice Cube, Ren, Special Ed, all of these dudes were them dudes. As that commercial was making its way, that commercial was so popular for them at some point that they still had it going on in the 90s, to the point that J. Rue the Damager, salute to J. Rue the Damager, he said, what's the difference between rapping and MCing? And J. Rue the Damager said, anybody can rap. MCing is a whole different thing. The Fruity Pebbles, Fred Flintstone's rapping on the Fruity Pebbles commercial. Why? He's saying this during 94, because they were still letting that commercial play up to that point. Like that commercial still, that's how relevant that commercial was, that it was still, I guess it was one of their joints. It resonated so well that it still was dragging along from the late 80s to the early to mid '90s. So much so that J. Rue the Damager was like, "That's the best example I can give you. What I do is not what that commercial is doing. We're not the same." And you're like, "Yo, that's crazy, B. That's wild." But that's music. You know what I'm saying? So when like I would love to talk about music on a whole level, another level. Love to just explore. Like Prince has dope music. Elton John has dope music, by the way. I don't know if people really be into Elton John like that, and they only pick the hits. Yeah, Elton John has some great music. Kiss was dope. You know what I'm saying? Before they got oversaturated. Twisted Sisters, while we talking about rock artists, was dope before they became pop. You know what I'm saying? Like you can pull up YouTube. They was out here saying some gangster stuff. Like yo, they was a real rock. Like I didn't. I the time frame when they was really cracking. I just was like, who was whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? But then I saw, I think it was a document. Who did it? Netflix or somebody? And then I think somebody did a document. I'm assuming it was Netflix. Maybe it might have been HBO. Somebody did a documentary about them before they blew up. And around that time, all of a sudden, a whole bunch of videos of them on YouTube back in the day was just circuit. And you're like, yo, these dudes was really official. These dudes really was out here handling their business. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop, R&B, all of the jazz. We like it's a lot of, you know what I mean? I would love to talk music, Marcus. I love, but then to talk it and not give examples, to talk it and not play the music just feels incomplete. So that's why I'm like, we're still gonna figure out how to do this, but right now it's a weird space. You know what I'm saying? So salute to you, Marcus, for bringing that swole Marcus with all the muscles, muscled up Marcus. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you do for a living, but I'm telling you now, wherever you work at, if it ain't around people who look at least close to how you look, you are intimidating. You better not be at nobody's drive-through looking like that, bro. You better not. Yeah, what y'all want? Oh my God. I'm on gonna bring. I won't look. Look. Matter of fact, we probably do need brothers like you coming up and working at a McDonald's or something, because McDonald's be out of hand, boy. They be out here trying to climb up in the window and fight and come around the corner on at the registers and all that. Yeah, let a Marcus come around the corner from doing fries. Who said what? Oh my, hey, I'm gonna take my food, yo. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm good. We good. No, we good. I bet you a Marcus will slow down a whole lot of Waffle House fights. He come from the kitchen, boy. Hey, who said my food was cold? You? Huh? No, no, not. I won't say. I'm saying I got a cold. Oh, okay. Because I know I'm just fresh hot. I saw you when you came in. I saw your order, and as you was ordering, I was putting stuff down. Your joint was ready, man. I, you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh huh. I wanted maple sausages. This is regular. Tell them I ain't telling them nothing. Yeah. He got the whole stove in his hand. He forget a pot. He got the whole like, I'll cook it for you right here. We good, bro. We good. We real good. I'm good. I'm straight. You know what I mean? I'm good. Marcus ain't a bus driver. Yeah, yeah. And look, he don't even look like he can fit in a bus on the bus driver joint either. Marcus just built. You come up in there huffing and puffing on the bus. Hey, bruh, you gonna have to stop all that. We have to let you off right here. You ain't gonna do nothing. Get about that. Oh my God. Hey, hey. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna sit right here in front with you and talk to you, man. Hey, dog. I'm really sorry about how I was acting. Nah, bro, that's all good. Just keep it quiet, man. That's all I'm saying. That's all I ask of you. Where you stop at, bro? I'm 2 stops away from the hospital. Okay, but I mean I gotta walk like 2 more blocks to get to the. Okay, check it out. You tell me where you need me to stop you at, and I'll stop. Right here, right here, cause I go down that street to my house. There you go, bro. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for understanding. All right. All right. Yeah. Hey boy, we need a Marcus. Marcus will stop school violence. Let your principal, let your teacher. Cause these kids is tripping on their teachers now. I saw a joint where the dude like, and it's always black teachers. I feel bad because black teachers don't play that. Son, black teachers will choke you. The brother did something and he rolled up on him. Boy, hey, choked my man out. What's the joint a few years ago when the shorty wanted to flip her out on the teacher and she was like, ooh, and beat the bricks off her and then was just on her and she was looking around at her classmates. Somebody help me. Hey. White teachers, I know y'all be like, especially when it's a black kid and y'all know y'all smart enough to understand this will get racial real quick. But sometimes you got to got to do what you got to do. Am I condoning it? Yeah, to a degree. I was a wild kid. I remember I was a handful. You know what I'm saying? I was a handful. I don't even know how nobody snatched me up. So I know, like some of these kids, but the stuff these kids are doing now is just ridiculous. Like I would just have an outburst and walk out the class. You know what I'm saying? Slam my book down. I ain't doing this, and walk out the class. That was the most you get from me. These kids, boy, they be out here. What? Rolling up on the teacher while they at the chalkboard, pushing them like, "What you don't want none? You don't want none." Like, dude, whoa, what? Yeah, that's why them black ones, boy, and it's crazy because they be trying to pick on the older black ones, like the older black dudes didn't used to do something. Like, nah, son, he for real, for real. He about to show you. He about to look. One push too many, hey. And they be trying to tell, hey, I do not want to lose my job. Hey, sit down. Hey, somebody go get a principal. They be calling people, hey, y'all got to come got to pull the cell phone. Hey, Principal Jackson, you got to come down here because this boy is tripping. He done put his hands on me 3 times. It ain't gonna be too many more times. Come get him now. Then all of a sudden he done smacked the phone on him. Oh my God, I am not my good phone. This my good phone. I just got this phone yesterday. No, you did. Hey, boy, now he done took unbuttoned the cuffs on his joint. He done rolled his sleeves up. What you want to do? You really think you got something? Let me take this ring off. Let me take this watch off. Let me take these glasses off. What you really want to do? He done got in his stance. Now the kid a little nervous. He like, and his friends is just, yeah, get him, man. Get him. Show him show OG you ain't no punk. I'm going to show you I ain't a blah. Oh, Lord. Boom. Blah. Boom. Wah. Now he done slam young boy on the desk. choking him out like, yeah, I told you, and you disturbing my class, and then gonna put your hands on me. Principal Johnson coming, brother, they gonna fire you, brother. I don't care. Mama come up in there like she don't know, no, you know. And at the end of the day, I blame the parents. I do. Like, even when I would have outbursts, I knew where to keep my outburst at. My outburst was that. And I walk off. I'm not gonna cuss at nobody. I'm not gonna do none of that. Cause that's all they need. That's like that used to be the key thing. That used to be the thing. Like you know what I'm saying? Your parents be up here. I can't believe that you did this and that to my kid. He was cussing up a storm. Mother this, mother that, if this, if that. All of a sudden the head just turned to you. See, you ain't tell me all that. No, the tides done turned. you had to at least not cuss, and your mama still had your back a little bit. You know what I mean? Back then, that was the way it goes. You just don't cuss. They got your back a little bit. Vroom. You know what I mean? You hitting somebody. And then he came up and he kicked me and he hit me, threw a book at me. What is your problem? Oh my God. You ain't tell me you did all that. No, he didn't. Oh yeah, it was in the hallway, so it's on video. Oh my, I'm sorry, y'all. I was not told about all it. You think you somebody, don't you? How many days? He suspended for 20 days. 20 good days. Oh, ooh, ain't gonna be no sitting home watching nothing. You gonna come with me to work, and you gonna sit up in the break room. Oh, 20 days. 20 days. You're going to be sitting up in the break room for 20 days. Then you just at your mama job in the break room. They looking at you like, who is this mother? Hey, my mama got me sitting here. She ain't give you no money for the vending machine. You just sitting there, you watching Prices Right in the stories. You just, I know don't no can of soup cost no $2. Why you say $2? Oh. Lost, man. You lost. That was what it was back in the day. Nowadays, parents don't care. You better not put your hands on my kid. I don't care if he did kick and spit at you and he knocked you down. And when you was on the phone, on the Zoom with your mama, he told that mother and he pulled his penis out and smacked your screen with it. I don't care. Don't you put your hands on my child. Y'all don't get to tell my child anything. This is my child. And he just smiling. Yeah, I blame the parents, son. I blame the parents. Cause every parent goes out their way to have rule number one be, I don't want to be my parents. That's rule number one. Every parent, my mama told me that. My mama said my first thought was I would never do what my mom did to my kids. Then you realize you have to. Kids are kids. Kids are kids. We will do some stupid stuff real. Hey, did not clean this. Sweep the floor. I got you. Come back. You still ain't. I was gonna get it. I forgot. I'm gonna get it right now. Somebody knock at the door, and then you done had a 20-minute conversation. You sweeping? I'm about to get it. Excuse me, he ain't coming out today. Go upstairs. I sweep, and that's gonna be the last. You ain't going nowhere. The real parenting. These parents don't do none of that no more. Parents don't care. These parents don't care. There was a video of a young black kid. I'm saying young. He definitely wasn't even older than 8. Going in on his grandma, hitting her, cussing at her, all kind of crazy stuff, man. And a grown man jumps in the way and go, hit me. You a little dude. You really think you big like that? Here I am. And he's walking around that dude. He like, man, she ain't gonna do nothing. She can suck. Grandmama. And you know where that comes from. The parents, because kids, when you see these little kids with grown folk mannerisms, that's their parents. First of all, that means that they're not even around children. Because there's no way that you should be running around here looking like a grown little girl. No, you should not have mannerisms of no grown woman at 5. You are not around your peers. You're supposed to be doing cute little 5-year-old stuff. You're supposed to be doing stupid 5-year-old stuff. You should not be out here rolling your eyes and doing the hand gestures and all with the head to the side. You ain't what? What? You ain't supposed to be 5 years old talking about dead ass. Somebody better have my stuff ready when I'm hungry. You're 5. You're supposed to be saying stuff like, may I have some? Can I have some? What are we having for dinner? Somebody gives you something, I don't really like that. Well, you gonna eat it because this ain't McDonald's. This ain't a restaurant. This is what dinner is. Then you cry. Because that's what 5-year-olds do. They cry. They play in their food. You ain't getting no dessert or nothing else till you finish that. You figure out ways to fake it that you ate it most of the time. Or you just let it get, now it's cold. It's cold because you won't doing nothing with it. That's a conversation that a 5-year-old has with their parents. Not dead ass. You know I don't even eat this. Why you playing me like that? What? Hold on. Time out. Whoa. Okay, who possessed you? Somebody go get the conjuring people. Who's in this spot? Hey, let me turn you upside down and shake the ghost out real quick. You know what's wrong with you? Coming out your mouth talking to me like we peers. What? Nah. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the parents' fault. So when these kids go crazy in school, the parents they not listening. You just don't talk to my kids that way. Like, oh my God. kick that kid out the school. Homeschooling for that kid forever. Nobody signs that kid up for their school. Homeschool this fool. Let you deal with it then. Fast forward, them be the teenagers straight throwing hands with their mama and daddy. Man, I told you I ain't about that. And then they squaring up. They squaring up. You lost. Them the ones that be having whole conversations like they're all peers. Peers. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, son, there's levels to this. But anyway, sorry, Marcus, I done went out here and just turned your whole joint into something else. But we will be doing music, Marcus. Thank you, Marcus, for rocking. Michael Jackson is what we rocked with. And I wish they would just let us play something. Play summer. I don't even know what do you have to go through to get to be able to do any of that. I don't. I wish I knew, because I would do it. But the other side of it is what it is, man. It's cool. I'm good with it. Y'all good with it. This is how we get down. Thank y'all. I don't know what Labor Day is coming up, and we're gonna get down on the show. If y'all want to listen, Legal Crime Radio, Google it, go to it. And on Saturday, 6 p.m., I'm gonna be in my mix. I'm gonna be doing my thing. Hopefully. Sometimes it don't work out the way it's supposed to all the times, but I'm planning on being there. You know what I mean? So this is how we get down. To the kids who lost their lives in Minnesota, condolences to the family. I don't like to get serious all the time, but this is a moment where you have to evaluate importance. You know what I'm saying? We have to evaluate what's important. And Cracker Barrel was the big Republican, MAGA, white people fight, right? That was the thing. They were upset about the white man not being on Cracker Barrel anymore, so much so that word has it that they're thinking about bringing him back. Here's my thing, black people. That's not us. And when I say that's not us, I'm not talking about the Cracker Barrel thing. I'm talking about to stand together and cost people money. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That was supposed to be us for all the yapping we were talking about for Kaepernick. That was supposed to be us. Where, like, the black dollars was made a significant dent in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Black players out of protest was like, I ain't playing this game. You're going to have make, I don't think y'all got enough white dudes to make a team. That black anchors, newscast people, solidarity going, I'm not going to be down with that. I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? You saw what Kenny Smith did. He was like, yeah, I'm with the players on this, man. I ain't playing. I ain't going to do nothing. And what did Charles Barkley and them say? I wish you would have told us, because we would have did it too. You see what that was? I don't know if y'all even understand that. They said, I wish you would have told us, and we could have all done it together. Power. I'm past the fact what Herschel, whatever his name, whatever the white dude, ain't got nothing to do with that. My thing is, they caused a ruckus. They cost these people millions of dollars. And then they was like, ooh, I think we might want to do our thing. And I'm saying that because the same way they did that, they could do something about these guns. They just choose not to. They could do something about protecting children. They just choose not to. You know what I'm saying? They're pro-life until you're born. Then it's like, it's like birds, dog. You're on your own at this point. Whatever it's survival of the fittest now. Don't mess around and get caught out here. Now it's on your own. They're praying. They were praying. Like, even that, as much as they're like, we want to bring God back to the school, they had God in the school. They were praying. So now there's like a bunch of components, a bunch of pieces that are so pro-white that you would think it's not a big deal. We done moved on. We talked about it a little bit. Uh, Things happen. That's the way that just went. Things happen, right? How is that even possible? Y'all made a big stink about this building getting rid of their old white dude. Nothing about children being shot down, praying in school. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, yo, because when I walked into like a building, when you go to those places, they got like the banks here and this there. Like March Madness, you go up inside of these buildings, and if it's March Madness, every place that has a TV screen is showing you that. So every place that had a joint was showing you that. And I'm like, yo, what? Then I heard somebody go, no parent should have to deal with this. And I'm like, school shooting. Asked my girl, I was like, yo, was there a school shooting? She was like, yeah, in Minnesota. I'm like, oh my God. Like, while they were praying, went through social media. I saw regular people talking about it. Didn't see too many of the politicians popping up talking about it. It's like they couldn't be bothered with that. Didn't see MAGA people talking about, again, a lot of stuff that seems MAGA-ish. White, church, God, children, praying, prayer in school, that thing that you guys are so behind. Nothing. You know what I mean? Because you guys couldn't, and I don't know the whole scoop. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know, but I bet you this much. It was a white kid. It was a white person. You already know it was a white person. And that white person is most likely going to be, they're going to tell you that he's not well. Because that's how white people get to be mentally unstable. Black people don't. Black kids don't. Black kids, they tell you in a heartbeat, the mind for a male doesn't mature till 25. Think irrationally until 25. So when this 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 21-year-old irrationally goes out and shoots up somebody or does some stupid stuff, nobody's going, it's a mental thing. He's a menace. He's a problem. Teenager goes into a school, shoots it up. They're crazy. Which, by the way, that's new. Because nobody said those Columbine kids were crazy back in the day. Remember that? They didn't say they were crazy. They made all kind. They tried to throw music into it, but they didn't say that they were crazy. Now all of a sudden, if a white person does something like that, he's crazy. Unless his mama drives him states away from where he lives, drops him off, he high-fives some cops, and then he commences to shoot people. That's a hero. That's different. But if you're not high-fiving cops and shooting people, you might not be mentally capable of understanding what you're doing. You might not have the mental capacity to be aware of what's going on. You might be crazy. You weren't in your sane mind. You weren't in your right frame of mind. Only in America. I can guarantee you, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and they're going to be like, it was a white dude. Because I haven't really paid attention to anything else. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and they're going to be like, it's a white dude. And then we're bringing it back. And that's always, I told y'all, man, it's almost like clockwork every 4 to 5 years. And this is going to be the set off because then it's going to be like 4 or 5 more before Christmas. That's just what it does. It's how it is. It's why, and nobody tries to stop it. But those same bodies that can stop it chose to go, we want the white dude back on Cracker Barrel. Okay. Like that really offended you. How dare y'all take that black man off of Cracker Barrel? Were black people really that mad when they would turn Uncle Ben into Ben and just said no more Aunt Jemima and there was Pearl? Which, by the way, still sounds like an old black lady. Pearl Millings. Pearl Millings sound like, shoot, Aunt Jemima's sister. Aunt Jemima. That's my mama Pearl. That's my mama Pearl, and that's my Aunt Jemima right there. Oh, okay, okay. How you doing, Miss Millings? Miss Millings? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Look at y'all. Right. The the Millings girls. I just chose to name my pancakes after my sister, and then he was like, "No, I want to name it, so I want to name it Aunt Jemima." Yeah, which by the way, I still have never met a Jemima ever, ever. Like I don't even. I should Google that up one day, just Jemima, and see who name pops up. Because other than pancakes, because I've never heard of anybody named Jemima. I've heard of Janetta. I've heard of Janetta. Jakima. Jemima. Never. But anyway, I'm gonna go now. Go back and listen to some slow jams on Legal Crime Radio. Um, yeah. Thank y'all for rocking. I swear I was right here the first time, and then my mind shifted into a whole nother thing. Thank y'all for rocking. Thank y'all for listening. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide, Lost Boys. I say it everywhere I go because it's the truth. It's dope to be global. It's dope to have the world listening to whatever it is you do, whether it's the music, playing music as a DJ, recording music as an artist, these podcasts, whatever it is. Thank y'all for rocking with me as I do it. Sincerely. Thank y'all. Um, they say you only live once. That's a lie. You only die once. So anytime that your God allows you to get out here and continue your journey, please show the world the best version of you. Y'all be safe. Peace.
This is a Soul of Art presentation.